Hey everybody, this is Chuck with Pease Park Conservancy and welcome to the latest edition of How Tuesday. Today you're in my kitchen and we're going to bake some bread. So this is a really easy recipe. There are only 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. The downside is that it's not a quick recipe, so what we start on a Tuesday we're not going to finish until Wednesday, but it's really worth the time and I hope you'll enjoy it. Let's get started. We're going to need 3 cups of flour. I'm using bread flour, but you could also use all-purpose flour. 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, and quick yeast is fine, 2 tablespoons of cornmeal, and 1½ cups of water. Start with 3 cups of flour, 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. We're gonna mix this up instead of sifting, but mix it up a little bit. Then we're adding 1½ cups of room temperature water. And this is gonna look really soupy. When we first start, you're gonna go, oh my gosh, how can this be bread? But just keep stirring it and pulling it away from the sides. Now we're going to cover this and then we're going to let it rise for 18 hours. So just take a clean towel and then we're going to put this in an oven turned off, not a hot oven, not even a warm oven, just a room temperature oven, and we're going to let this sit for 18 hours. Then we'll be back. To day 2 of adventures in bread baking, but before we get our dough out of the oven where it's been rising for about 18 hours, we're going to do a little quick preparation of our baking sheet in order to help prevent sticking. Take about a tablespoon of olive oil and put that on the cookie sheet, or baking sheet. Sprinkle about 2 tablespoons of cornmeal on top of the oiled baking sheet. And again, all of this is, our dough is really sticky, and so we want to try and help prevent it from sticking to our baking sheet. Removed the bread from the turned off oven where it's been sitting for the last 18 hours, and now we're gonna do a little reveal. You can see that the dough has risen significantly. It's still wet and it's still very sticky, so our next step is to take a spatula and start to remove the dough from the sides of the bowl. Kind of punch it down. It's gonna deflate, but that's all right. That's what we want to happen right now. So just kind of scrape it off the side, punch it down, and fold it over itself a couple times. And now we're going to take our bowl of dough and we're going to put it in the middle of our baking sheet. And because it's so sticky, we're going to want to put some flour on your hands put a little flour on top of the dough, and then we just want to stretch it out into a horizontal shape that, if you've seen ciabatta bread before, it kind of looks like an extended rectangle. And now we're going to cover this again with our dish towel, and we're going to let it rise an additional 2 hours. So we'll be back in a bit. Didn't rise all that much. Hopefully it'll turn out well. But now we're going to put this in a preheated 425 degree oven for between 35 and 45 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer for 35, and then we'll check it every 5 minutes after that. So here is our ciabatta loaf, fresh out of the oven. This was in the oven for the full 45 minutes at 425, and it's super hot right now, so we're going to let it cool off just a bit, and then we'll slice it up and give it a taste. So I really don't want to wait any longer, so we're going to cut us a slice. You see, it is crunchy on the outside, and then soft on the inside. I hope you like this. I hope you'll try it at home. Thanks again for joining us for How Tuesday. Have a great one.